with the man, Double J, Jeremy Jones. We'll be calling it for you.
Yeah, it looks like two close lags here, no matter where they land. Similar speeds going up and down the table. Was it Kaci?
Yeah, I think so.
It's the big guy who's shed a few pounds, by the way.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the 2025 Diamond Open Professional Players Pool Championship. This is the 31st annual, and we welcome you here to the rink. We started with 128 players down to the final 4, and we'll start with the announcements here on table 5. European Nineball Championship and World Pool Championship. Currently ranked number 20 on the World Nineball Tour from the Netherlands, the Terminator, Niels Van. And his opponent, he won the 2017 and 2019 World Pool Masters. He's a 2023 European Open champion. Currently ranked number 11 on the World Nineball Tour from Malaga, Spain. Please welcome El Matador, David Alkane. Over here on table 4. In 2021 and 2023, he's the World Pool Association World 10-Ball Champion. 2023 UK Open. Currently ranked number 2 on the World Nineball Tour from Albania, the Golden Eagle, Eklent Kaci. And finally, his opponent in 2019 and 2024, he won the World Nineball Championships. Currently ranked number 1 in the world on the World Nineball Tour from Memphis, Indiana, the Ghost, Fedor Gorst. Good luck, gentlemen.
All right, I believe that was Doug Ennis, who's been the tournament director for many, many years here. Great guy. The big guy. To start us off, Double J.
Yeah, you'll excuse me, you'll see a lot of speed here. Nobody's one ball really exits any faster, maybe similar with SVB. All right, the two's going to come open. This is a nice start if you're going to start the semifinal against the number 1 player in the world.
Definitely one of those shots that tell you a little bit about how he's feeling. He's elevated over the 8. Of course, this is not a difficult play, but at times he's struggled with being elevated over a ball. This one is not bad. It's just kind of in the bridge spot, though. I don't know if he can... Oh, he's clear. So now he can get into it and get back onto the right side of the 3 for the 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's not perfect, but pretty good. Just got to pull it up slowly, maybe get a little more angle on the 4 than totally desired, but should be okay. Now the camera can certainly fool us. Nah, I should be able to kill this nicely.
Yeah, I don't think there's any trouble here with the 9 at all. It's pretty much open season here.
Yeah, I think he's going to go one rail, but I think both are, excuse me, again, are available.
Yeah, I think Kaci leans a little bit more to the inside ball than some of the great players, or at least this week. I've covered a couple of his matches where he's just going to the inside ball a little bit more, which is not a bad thing.
No, and when you get close to your work, that's when the inside's real comfortable also, so you don't mind it.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I think, you're probably the same way. When you feel comfortable with inside, you're probably playing some of your best pool.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's not something you want to use all the time, but it is used all the time just because it's a great way to recover a little bit or keep it simple. Oh, he's perfect here. Hard to make a mistake, really.
Yeah, and what's it do for you? FSR, I think, leading, and my numbers might be off, but FSR was up 2 games late in the match, just the last match, about 30 minutes ago. And I know that FSR was on 8, so I think it was 8-6. What's it do for Eklent, right? It probably, there's a good example, but feeling comfortable, comes back and wins 4 in a row and beats FSR 10-8. I think that does a lot for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't see the ending of that match and how he won 4 in a row, but it's probably just 2 heavyweights going at it, and he felt if he kept on it that he'd get an opening, and he did, and took full advantage.
Yeah, might ease a little bit of the pressure, in this position, because sometimes you might be looking at a loss, and you're not thinking that way, but it can enter your mind.
Well, we've all been there with any kind of win. If you have to play right back and you kind of, stumble across the finish line because you got a lead and then the guy just kind of gave it to you or whatnot, you worry a little bit coming off that win when you play right away. But when you finish strong, that's quite the opposite, right? You can feel like you can, all right, let's just keep this going and we're going to be all right.
Yeah, I watched the last 2 games and Eklent played perfect in those. Can't remember exactly what happened, but yeah, I agree. I think those are good points.
All right, Fedor breaks him pretty firm himself. Oh yeah, really good.
Yeah, the 2 finishing pretty funny.
Yeah, very awkward. If he doesn't have a direct path at the 2 that's very comfortable now, the push out's going to be super tough.
Can he get enough of it, Jeremy, to chip it underneath the 9-3-4 and avoid
and run the cue ball?
Traffic, yeah, and run the cue ball up?
I thought he might float it just behind the 3-1 rail.
Oh,
like
even
this.
better.
Yeah, just keep it. If you
Sure.
if you give up a little piece, you ain't going to like it, but.
Yeah, but it probably a lot higher percentage. Plus, I don't think you could see enough of the 2 to do what I was talking about.
Yeah, if he looks, though, he's got the 9 and the 3. If he just says, okay, I can come up a little bit there.
Sure. Yeah, it was pretty simple and effective. Yeah, most likely the 8-4 here. I like to get him completely cut off from the left long rail, and he has done that, at least on the lower end.
Yeah, he's always conscious with the top players, especially Fedor, because of the jump cue. But here, you definitely, if you're not afraid of that side pocket, you really want to go at this off the top cushion if you can, just because you're bringing everything towards the congestion.
You're talking about ball first, Jay, or rail first?
It doesn't matter at that point. You prefer ball first, but
yes.
At that point, it doesn't matter as long as you get past that side. You'd like the 2 to be down a little bit, but about a little more than medium.
I think he's going to the second rail.
Really? Well, yeah, he did pass the side.
I don't think that was intentional. I actually think he was trying to catch it going directly in.
Yeah, either way, you just take your chances right there. You got a lot of balls that something could get funny or tied up. But this is where alternate break, you really battle for this game on Fedor's break. You're going to battle no matter what, but later in the match, you may make a little bit of a decision. Say you're up 9-8 and your opponent breaks on the heel, or you break on the heel, you may go for a shot in a situation in alternate break that you may not in winter break just because of one reason or the other.
It definitely dictates some of the games and how they're played, right? You mentioned gamesmanship the other day, and I just mentioned it before you did. Totally different style with this format that we're starting to see played a lot of times based on decisions on whose break it is next and what's really going on with the game. Could he go with the 9 crossed corner here?
I think so. I think that's what he's doing.
Where's the 2 finish, though? It's got to be coming up table.
Oh, I see.
Wow.
He was feeling out the double kiss the whole way. What a shot.
Wow, how do you...
What a shot.
Looked like he could kiss that ball without any problem. It was a very...
You know how sometimes when you're trying to look at one that you don't shoot, but you're trying to figure out the kiss guy, because we play one pocket, and you're trying to figure out the ball speed, like how fast the object ball is going to move compared to how fast the cue ball is going to move. Those come up every now and again. I think that's what he was trying to figure out.
Yeah, and he figured it out. Look at how good did he hit that ball. That's pretty amazing to me, that play there. I never even thought of it.
No, this is one rail, it looks like. 3 rails behind, not really available.
Yeah, it just seems we have many games like this in this format. It's almost like the balls know that nobody can really gain any momentum, which I like this type of pool, right?
Yeah, I think it's a little hidden, too, with the matches I've done. There's only been a couple, but you almost overlook the break and runs because there are all these, tussle matches on a lot of these games. And a lot of times because these guys are so great, they don't give up ball in hand very easily. So if the balls lay or end up funny, it's going to be a lot of tactical play, which you're seeing, too, the best at that. I give the edge to Eklent a little bit, just like I would over most players. Nothing against Fedor. He's very good safety-wise.
That just tells you how great Eklent is.
Well, you just showed us a moment ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually feel like Fedor is one of the better movers in the game as well, but hard to argue your opinion there.
No, Fedor's come a long ways in that regard to one of the best at it. Oh, he caught the 7. He was trying to come across. He hit the 2 into the 5 how he wanted to hold the 2, but
yeah,
ball just bent on him a little.
Yeah, if he avoids the 7, he's got that whole wall there with the 3, 7, and 9. Just bent it like you said.
Hard not to come up on the 5, 7, 8 here. You feel good about it. Just kill the ball, right? And bank the 2 a little past the side or something like that. You could do it full also and bank the 2 on top of the pink ball a little bit. Of course, it is one of the best bankers in the game.
Yeah, I guess he kind of felt like it was a little bit free, right? He's still got a lot of work to do there. I think he's falling flat here, Jay.
Yeah, another bank on the pink 4.
Yeah, and then just pinch back, I guess, and take what you can on the 5.
Yeah, maybe a bank on the 5 that's free with shape on the 6. This may unfold pretty in a sweet manner here. I think he's trying to set up for a bank to where he can work the cue ball. Maybe go 2 rails into the 5, 7. So he wants to stun forward 3 to 4 inches. Like that.
Perfect.
Get a little angle.
Really is perfect. I think he can bend the cue ball, but is the 9 big here?
I think he's got a soft draw into position on the 5, whether it's below it or behind it.
Kind of the plan all along, right? He can really weld him up to the 7 if he gets right here.
He might go into those balls. Oh, he stunned it. So he's going to duck and play the shape maybe, and the safety.
Can he cut the 6 from where the 5 is?
I think so.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Did he fall perfect on this bank? Pretty close. he can definitely maneuver.
Well, the good thing is, unless he figures he's going to hit the top point, maybe he'll just nudge over near the 8 a little bit. Not have to stun forward to get the snooker, because you do want to kind of play the safety here as well, don't you?
Yeah, so he could maybe hit it full with a softer ball, like a medium ball with a lot of right as well, and let it open up.
I don't think it needs a ton of right either. I think the angle's there, really.
Oh, yeah, it was really pretty perfect. Not bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he has to really spin it a ton. Yeah, he's a little elevated also, so I don't know how much speed he'll get here. Maybe just trying to bump it to the rail. Let the cue ball go to the top cushion. Oh, he did get some speed.
Yeah, and the 7 plays, so all about this ball here.
Yeah, just a little draw stroke. I could have used a little more there. I don't know how tight it is going by the 8. If it's, you know, a little bit of the pocket's hidden by the 8, this could be a touchy shot.
Yeah, giving it a lot of time.
So it's going to be on serve here at 1 apiece.
Yeah, this format, you know, I mean, I'm just touching on it. It's rack your own, right? I just had a thought that they would have had possibly a referee for but I think they just want to keep this format the same way all the time, right? They don't want to change anything. I just thought they might have a ref on board to rack the balls and watch for the all-ball fouls here. But I like what they're doing, just letting the players run.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's been no problems that I've heard of, and
no.
Certainly these two are great players, but also very professional in that manner. And you know, why not disrupt the rhythm of them not worrying about something? Or, you know, the referees always do a great job. It's a hard job, but you know, why not make the players as happy as possible? They've been doing it all week.
Yeah, and what happened there? Did he have an issue with the bridge arm? He's had a couple issues I've noticed.
Yeah, smashing break. Don't know what the 8's going to do. Get another look here at the break. 2 came up. It possibly banks. I think it does.
Probably get behind the 6 pretty easy here. He likes the inside ball and maybe float it past the 5 if he chooses to get away from the bank.
Yeah, he's got a lot of safety options.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, big time, right? He could use the 7 and come around and chip it past the 6.
I like your first one where you're saying bank the 2 across and go behind the 6 with the cue ball.
Yeah,
I
pretty
like
big.
that a lot.
Yeah, pretty big error to keep him covered.
Yeah, you really can't hardly sell out even if you give him a look. Now, you don't want to give him any piece of it, but I thought he could hit top English and swing the cue ball on the bank, but maybe not. 3's pretty open if you get past the 7. I mean, even a little distance is okay, but
Yeah, if the bank goes, I don't know how you pass it up.
I think he's playing safe here, really guarding on the 2 ball.
Yeah, back behind the 7 maybe?
Yeah, hard to go wrong.
Oh, he's got him real good, and you just mentioned it. He's aware of it. These 2 have met before in pretty high-pressure situations. Jeremy, we covered a little bit of that in Saudi Arabia when Fedor beat him in the World Nineball.
Yeah, Hill. Incredible match. Crazy swings, really, at the end, and I'm sure we'll have more from these guys, not only here this week and today and right now, but in the near future.
Look at this.
Yeah, he's going over both. Dug on the cue ball, kind of landed on the second hop off there. And I'm not sure there's a pocket. Maybe it slides by the 6. Oh, yeah. Definitely does. Looks like he could almost float it with a little left spin, but I think he's going to go forward. If he goes by the 4, it makes it pretty easy. Got to go a little bit. One thing about the way Eklent breaks, especially if the cue ball's not getting kissed as it goes back and forth, besides the 9, that kiss is going to happen sometimes, but he gets really good spreads to where he almost, that one squeaked by, but it's almost like he just gets some kind of look at almost every ball on the table almost.
Yeah, his spreads are definitely unique to a lot of his counterparts. I've talked about that as well.
Yeah, so like him and Fedor both, they usually kind of gain control. Of course, there's always the push out that comes up. It usually comes up at the end of the match in crucial kind of situations. But, all right, looks like he might be going forward 2 cushions. Wants to get a little closer to this 5 with the 7-8 there. Yeah. And the good thing about getting close again, you sometimes get perfect like this, but you can handle that little bit of an angle on one side or the other because you're so close to the ball.
You can actually go 2 rails if he'd like here. Doesn't have to go to the top rail directly. This actually takes him into a perfect line for the 7. such a great player after the break, but when you're a numbers guy, when you run numbers and you have a break the way he does and play the way he does, it's got to carry you much deeper in events more consistently.
Well, I mean, we talked about the break rule and tried to come up with something that's not overly difficult, but still, as random as possible with the guys being so great. But we still all know how big a part of the game it is, whether it be the pool gods being on your side and that last ball not coming to snooker you, or you just are that good like this guy and he's going to break the balls, as you're saying.
Right.
In a long term, he's going to get more looks more looks to get control, just like he did there with that safety.
Yeah, and it's just pure talent, right? Pure hard work and talent. He's just a little bit better than most at the break. His little brother's right there too. But then again, I start watching all these other guys like Gorst and Sanjin, and there's a ton of them that break the balls real hard. Jason Shaw. So
yeah, FSR's gotten harder.
FSR's gotten a little much stronger.
I think it long term it's a good thing. I think the golden break you make a little more of that also. So, like, look at the balls moving. Last time he got a lot of kisses in the lower left corner, but here you go. He's not snookered on any ball on the table, I don't think. Is he?
No,
you can
not
see
at
the
all.
2, 3 set. Yeah, you can see them all. So he's going to get some type of control or chance at control to start most games when they break, that being both these guys. Got to make a little bit of a funny one. He's elevated a little bit. Can't just come across easy with straight English because the 7's there. So he may have to add, as Scott says, a tick inside here. Being a little elevated, this becomes a hair missable. Can he get away with just straight ball, Scott?
I think it'll float down.
Okay.
And I don't think there's any other man on the planet I'd rather have shooting it either.
Well, he could. Now he's got to worry about getting too straight, and that's exactly what's happened. He's got to shoot a long pink here. Good thing that's where the 5 being close really helps.
Yeah, and speaking of the 5, I mean, I guess it's all going to tell us where he ends up here. Does he want to get a little closer and maybe get into this and take a little bit of an angle on the pink, or just take the long?
I think he's going to just get as heavy as he can on the 4 ball, and then take the distance, like right here, just as heavy as he can without being on the rail. Now, I think he has to go forward here. He may be able to hold it. It's going to be hard to tell with Fedor because he kind of goes middle with the tip if he's drawing the ball, and then he drops the tip on the last stroke. Usually you can tell if he's on the top of the ball, though. All right, so right here, I think he's going to draw this. Watch the tip drop at the very end. Yeah, he was dead straight.
Yeah, and that's a shot he probably practices often. I don't think there's anybody that drags the ball better than he does. He uses that drag stroke with a little bit more speed than a lot of players, and he also can use it at some of the softest speeds I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's funny because he doesn't do a drag with side spin very often, like a lot of players, self-included. He'll use the straight drag a lot more. And that was basically the Mighty X, Scott, that shot on the pink.
Well, I was going to say that, Double J. That's a drill that Jeremy has in some of the stuff he does, and it's actually pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I think it was Bert Kenister that actually made it, I think. Pretty sure. All right, 3 rails around, just a little bounce off the 3rd cushion. And we should be knotted at 2 pretty soon.
guys, check out integritycues.com, offering high-end cues, production cues, pre-owned cues, cases, and accessories. integritycues.com.
And historically, this week I've been pretty poor at predictions. I expect a lot of these matches, like in this position, I just feel like could easily go 10-9. But every time I say that, somebody just breaks away and wins by 4 or 5 games.
Well, it's tough to do. Nineball's funny like that, and all the players are playing so well. If things go against one player a little bit, it can be a 4 or 5 game deficit at the end. And are we on a player break, maybe? Well, our other match, David Alcady leads Niels Vian 3-1 at the moment. So both on pace, 4 games for each so far.
What's up, everybody? This is Dave from Classic Billiards down here in South Florida. We do things a little bit differently here compared to your old pool hall. It doesn't smell like mothballs. It's not exactly a library. And nobody's shushing you like this is church. We're all about having fun, eating chicken wings, drinking beer, and knocking some balls around. And don't let that mistake you. We still got the skills, baby. So if you're ever down in South Florida, come check us out at Classics.
That guy right there, one of the best. Everybody's going to get to know him. Classic Billiards, Dave Bartosiak and his wife Leah. They're doing a lot for pool. And here is a look at the crowd. Jeremy, it's been a crazy event all week. I mean, the people here, wild. There's Niels Vian.
Yeah, two veterans there with David. Interesting. Those two, teeing off in one semifinal, and two, of course, are young champion top player guys that are going to be around for a long time. Who knows with David and Niels also, both of them stay in shape and obviously still playing great pool.
Yeah, David, 47 years old. Every time I see him, I have to hear about it because he keeps telling me I should be playing. I said, well, I'm 49. He said, well, I'm 47. And I said, well, you play a lot better than me. But anyway.
I think Niels is about the same, 46, 47, I think.
Maybe even a little older. I thought he was closer to 48 or 9.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not certain. You're pretty good with numbers, Double J.
Yeah, pandemic, though, throws me off with a lot of that. I lose. All right. Niels is 48. There's that action on the 9. 2 goes down. The 3's going to get downtown, it looks like. Or with the cue ball being way up table.
The power he gets on this break, though, it almost looks like he's hitting them head on, the way they burst open.
I know, right? Never really. When I first saw these guys really powering, I said, well, they're going to lose the cue ball off the table sometimes, and it just doesn't happen. The way they grip the ball. I mean, he's not. I mean, I don't think it's 100%. That's the other sick thing about it, but I think it is 80%, somewhere around there, right?
Oh, yeah, I would say.
75, 80%. That's a lot for this guy.
Does he drop down below the 9, or does he play this ball?
I'll tell you what, I would have thought about playing it to the lower right and swinging underneath the 7-2 rails up, but I like that shot, though, with a lot of spin.
You're not worried about connecting with the 7?
Not really, I don't think so.
So you're saying swing underneath it, or around
2
it?
rails underneath and go between the 6-7, yeah. But, I mean, I don't mind that shot with spin. I kind of feel like I can get away with it, too. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, but to your point, is if you feel good over a ball and it's something that you're confident with, then there's never really a reason not to play it. It looked like the 3 laid good, but I don't know that it does lay good to track 1 rail behind the 9.
No, I was just going to say that, like a one-pocket shot, you know, coming off the ball off the spot and coming behind it. It looks like to me you can beat the scratch, but you could scratch, but it's hard to get behind the 9. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Outside ball, probably not going to get it either to check it up. He does have options, right, Jay? You could play the 3 maybe up towards, well, I don't know. It's a little awkward. Maybe he does have to go. I think it's probably the move if you feel good about it.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going with inside here. Just a hair of inside. May just be saying, let's pocket the ball and see where the cue ball goes off the 7 with some speed. Yeah, just take your chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And what a hit it was.
And it was really hard safety. That was the reason why. He got a little odd here. He's got to draw the ball or maybe stun it a little into a small gap. So I think it's going to be the draw stroke.
Yeah, he really just has to pinch it back a foot. I don't think he has to hit it real hard, but he is one of those players that'll get into the ball with a lot of power just because of his accuracy. Long ball never scares Kaci.
Yeah, but he's a ways away, so he's got to hit this one pretty clean, even on the 4.5-inch pocket. Oh, really good. He just kind of delivers enough on the stroke to where, you know, 8 inches from 5 feet away just ain't no big deal.
Yeah, that's how it feels. There's no doubt.
Coming behind this, Scott, looks like? Or is he going above with inside? Okay, come behind it for the side pocket. A little short of ideal, but should be okay.
Yeah, this angle sure looks easier than the other angle. But I guess if this angle proves true, he's absolutely perfect. Sure looked steeper the other way to me.
Yeah, I agree, but... Okay, might go to the rail, he may not. This is one you may just float to the right side like that. Don't try to force it back. You fall straight on the rail a lot of times, or near the cushion. And
switched to English there. Was going to use a low outside ball and wrap around the top right. Now, coming 1, possibly 2. Well, there we have it. August 18th through the 23rd at Harrah's. It's a tournament that my buddy to the left, I heard he won it. Pretty good tournament, right, Jeremy? The U.S. Open?
yeah, I think the cream of the crop for me, of course, being an American, where it all originated. You could see many past champions there and several more trying to get that title. I think they got at the bottom of your screen a few of them. That trio of Chua, Yap, and Kaci, I think those are 3 to watch this coming August, along with the guy in the middle going for number 6.
Yeah, that's the guy, obviously, that I'm pulling for. And I mean, really, every guy on that screen could be a little dangerous. Moritz Neuhausen just winning the PLP. Robbie Capito trying to defend the UK Open. He won that last year, but I think both of those guys could pop through at any time as well.
Yeah, it's a grueling tournament, though, but with a lot of prestige and class. And usually there's a name you may not expect, but there's usually a lot of them you do, especially once you see them that week. All right. He's going to catch the point. Oh, and it hangs. How much of a difference is that?
Yeah. How does this ball hang? Sometimes we wonder. Yeah, I mean, that's really the such a massive swing right there. There are just so many variables within the game, and I think it's what makes this sport or game, whatever you'd like to call it, I call it a sport, so difficult, though, is the variables.
Yeah, and it's, you know, there's not as much different ways of looking at things like there used to be, I think, you know, as far as styles. I think efficiency is a very important one these days, like get out when you're supposed to, which has always been a big one, but I'm talking about tournament play. I think it's stressed more. That's why technique is stressed more, just kind of something that's there all the time. And then you still have some that, like, oh, okay. I don't know if he knew right when he hit it.
I don't know if we did either.
Yeah, and then you have some like a Chua that still has a lot of like play to it, you might say. Get out when you don't expect it. Very creative mind.
Punching out here. He is one that gets more of the outside ball than most players. He will go out of his way to use it a lot of times as well, where a player will just use a center high or maybe a touch of inside. He'll go out of his way to use the running English.
Yeah, he doesn't mind the stun, the heavy stun, and I think he got away with one there. I think he was certainly going for the upper left corner. I think he would tell you, too.
Yeah, just got into it a lot more than he probably expected. There's actually an example right there. Going with the outside English, he will take that path way before any natural inside ball. It's just a little bit more to his style and liking, though. It's all preference.
Yeah, I like the outside ball. I use the inside a lot, too, I guess. It's just love going with the cut, though.
Yeah, he just really goes out of his way at times, Jeremy. Will completely go out of his way to use the outside ball. And I get it. It will reduce some kicks at times, and it's a cleaner way to make the ball.
Yeah, 3-3 now in this race to 10 semifinal.
Yeah, and I'll talk about these payouts right here. $15K up top. Second place, $9K. Third place, $7,000. They raised the prize money. I think it was the 3rd through 7th, 8th, or maybe 9th through 12th. They added an extra $500 too. I think 3rd through 7th, 8th, Jeremy. They added another $500 too each yesterday. Then I added a couple hundred more for 9th through 12th and 13th through 16th. So now $3,000 in the final position.
All right, Eklent Kaci to break in game number 7. Well, he missed the one. I don't see the random ball down, so here's your chance, Fedor Gorst, to get your first lead.
Yeah, the one going just high. Believe the 3 passes the 4. Kind of what Jeremy was touching on, the spreads. Even when he doesn't make a ball, he's got to look at the 1. Kaci, he hits him so well that he gets just kind of unreal spreads, not very common amongst a lot of the other players.
Yeah, and it looks like he'll come back for the 2 in the side. No reason not to, really. That was a nice touch, just kind of floating across that ball. Perfect. Probably like to get pretty straight on the 3, not only because the 4 is there, but the pocket's a little tight, so you always want to have a look at it if you can. Now the key to this shot is don't roll it. I mean, Normally, if that's a tighter pocket I'm talking about because of the pink, a lot of times you need to go ahead and shoot this. That way you just get a nice connection. It holds its line well.
You're saying kind of just drift over behind the 9 that direction, maybe a soft stun?
Yeah, a little bit of a light draw. Looks like he might be rolling it, but you can roll it with a little speed too and come up a diamond.
Might have a bigger pocket
Yeah,
than
you
we
see
think.
how he didn't dead roll it or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he had a little bigger pocket than we thought as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. That he played the smart position to get to the 5 ball. Now, I don't usually come to the second rail here. I let it really open up and spin.
So you're guaranteeing that you're long of the right middle.
Yeah, a little past the side. Just let it float up. Yeah, like that. That way you're keeping the angle. You should hit the speed good enough to never get too thin. And you got to go a long ways to get straight in, basically.
Good stuff.
Especially, if you have a tight quarters between the 5 and the side pocket, right? You don't want to take a chance of scratching either.
Yeah, well, we can see why both of these guys are in this position. Both breaking amazing, and both, the pocket. And the way the ball is entering the pocket, I don't see any mishits really yet. He's got an angle.
Yeah, I'll probably just hold this on the right side. He can stun across, but I don't see the point, really.
CrossroadCues.com offers hassle-free, zero-interest financing on the most popular cue brands like Samsara, McWhorter, Nitty, and Southwest. With lightning-fast shipping, your cue will arrive in time for your next match. Buy, sell, trade, and consignment are also available at CrossroadCues.com. Don't wait. Contact us today.
All right, we're back.
All right, the 2's going to come up, I think. You can see, though, a little bit of a grouping on the left side. Not quite as much movement. Balls did get kissed a little bit.
Yeah, how thin is he really here? Kind of a two-way play, right? You just don't want to overcut it. You could play it to the side, and you're really getting behind to the 3 if you can. I don't know what good it does to get behind the 3, though, honestly. So maybe figuring something out better than that. Maybe not play the 2, just play it past the side.
I'll tell you what I see is maybe come one row at the edge of the 3, making the 2 ball, and try and open it lightly. I don't think it's terrible, unless the 2's just not a shootable shot.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Just come one rail across.
Pretty thin.
And definitely missable for sure. With not a ton of future with the 3 ball, so probably a safety coming.
if he got it there, did he?
No, he did not. Easy to end up short on that hit because you're trying to guard maybe the 2 ball not coming up.
Yeah, and that's all because you're catching the 2 a lot thicker. Felt like if he was going to shoot that, you'd have a lot more room with the 4, 8, 3, and 6, but maybe he was concerned about the outer point in the side.
Eklent looking at 2 rails off the left side, dropping behind the 5, trying to use the 8 and the 4, I think anyways.
He's actually one of the best at this play with the higher ball, in my opinion.
No, 100%. Always never lays off. He's always very aggressive with the stroke, which is key. And that doesn't mean bash it, but that just means don't be timid. That'll do.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like I've called so many executions on that play with him that I've never really remembered him failing at it, and it's a shot that a lot of people don't play enough or practice enough, including myself.
Yeah, it's definitely one you want to set up a few different ways and get kind of a foundation for it and understand about the stroke. SVB's always been great at it. Earl actually was very good at it. Got to go the side rail here, I think. Trying to let the 2, the cue ball go up table towards that top rail. Maybe the 2 banks and comes back down somewhat. Just avoid the right side. That way you don't scratch. Got to get it somewhat full or a hair on the left side.
Yeah, so he's hitting it at the speed, what, Jay, to just lay it up on the left long rail, or?
No, I'd go ahead and put speed to let it bank down and let the cue ball go either by the 7 and kill. Oh, he played it light. See how the cue ball's going down? But somewhere around medium, Scott, you don't bash it. That way you don't lose accuracy. But at least you're getting separation.
Sure. And I feel like if he caught that a little thinner, he's probably at the speed of the long rail on the left side, but I don't know if he was maybe, like you said, probably trying to play it fuller like this.
Well, what you'll do if you feel comfortable with the 3, 6, 9 so bad, just don't go crazy on the 2. If you feel comfortable, just get some distance and take your chances that Eklent can't get out. And like this, you may leave one that he may not even shoot at.
Yeah, I'm wondering here if he's also very good at this, is where you're elevating just slightly, maybe banking the 2 back up towards the 7. If you could edge a piece of the 3, you could do a lot of damage. But I don't know if that's too tough. He could also chip it, but...
Yeah, I think he's going to shoot and maybe trying to open the 3 somehow on a safety, figuring if he knocks the 2 in with speed, he's good. And if he doesn't, he's hard to lay up and hang it. So he's going to go at this.
Well, I feel like the 3 is tough to kind of hide him on, but...
From underneath, it's not too bad. You can shave it. So, like if he gets down here on the middle diamond, like here, he can shave the left side using the 6 to hold the 3 and put him behind the 9. So it's kind of a, you're betting you're going to make the 2, right? You're betting on yourself to make the 2 because you're Eklent Kaci and you're that good.
Yeah.
But you don't have to sell out unless the 2 crashes into the 3, 9, 6 somehow on a miss. But so there's some good things that can happen there from
absolutely.
He just wants to try and get control, basically. I wouldn't go crazy. I'd keep this real light.
Yeah, and he did, and he used the 6 as well. Uh-oh.
Well, we had a little bit of a crash. Hopefully there's no humans involved.
Somebody's down.
All right, 3-9 in the side doesn't look terrible. I'm not sure if Fedor's kind of heard that noise. It's nearer him than us. But you're going to shoot this with some speed. You don't have to if you felt real good about it, but...
Yeah, I think you're going to get the, if you hit it the way you're supposed to, the 3's going to stay anyway, right? But separation shouldn't be too difficult. Getting the rail is the key.
Yeah, this is the type of shot. Of course, it's going to be interesting to see how Fedor plays it. You know, he's here in the semifinal, but I'd like to see how Efren would play it. Would he roll it with like a medium, knowing he could get a snooker both edges on the 3 and maybe make the 9?
Well, he's so creative. He might use extreme English out of the lower left corner, just, you know, with an inside ball or a left ball. He's going to use a flat ball. Typically does.
You see the light speed? You see the snooker right here?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
using the 6.
Yeah, and the reason why you might do that is you're so lined up on it, right? You're not having to cut it much on the angle on the kick shot. It's so right in front of you, you feel like you're going to be accurate.
Yeah, and just a touch thicker. The 9 is going to go into the side there.
Yeah, he might go at this if he has it.
Boy, this is a tall order. You've got to get either in a gap or back. I don't know how he can go forward here unless it's on that line. What about just crossing it up?
Yeah,
If it's that tough.
I think that's what you're going to end up seeing him do. He's just trying to find out, where do I go with the cue ball? Where's the 3 going with the 9 there? Can I just float one rail across and use the 5-6? Is this one you try to get the snooker, but just lay the 3 on the side cushion and say, hey, I got through this shot. At least he's got to play safe. Like drop the cue ball down below the 5. And
We've already seen him do something similar at least once this match. I was just looking at the 3 off the 9 in the side and still coming around like a two-way play, but I think it's a little too risky with the speed.
There it
he
is.
looked at it.
There it is. Don't think he wasn't thinking of it, Scott.
Well, I felt like he just had to hit it with more speed, so I didn't know if it was really going to be on, but pretty slick right there from Kaci.
Yeah, and even if he didn't make it, I think he was trying to. And how good of a hit with inside English from that distance, really. He's got to make another nice one here in the top right corner. It does open up the rack, though. Well, that hit center cut.
Yeah, everything clean with Kaci right now. It's been like that so far this match. But I'll tell you what, everything's been perfectly clean with Gorst as well. They've only played 7 games, and I feel like we've been through a war.
Yeah, there's been a lead change in our other semifinal, too, with Niels Fine up 5-4 over David Alcady. Looks like he's gotten perfect to really have a choice here to go forward or stun over. It looks like forward. The 7's a little tight by the 9. Stay off the rail. That's the main thing here.
Yeah, he's gotten absolutely perfect, Jay.
Yeah, but even though he's gotten a little more angle, maybe he's perfect, but getting off the rail, very crucial with the 8 a little down the table. Just draw straight up. Or is he just holding for the corner? Yeah. That's the other thing that I think why he holds up under pressure so well. Very simple pull and really straightforward. Whatever the lines of the shots and the table's telling you, that's what he kind of sticks with. And then every now and again he shows us something special. Well, this is going to get, okay. Didn't have shape for a long time, but he got there.
Sure did not look to me like he had that big of an angle, but he doesn't mind drawing the ball.
He's feeling pretty good, I think.
It's been as good as it gets here. Kind of a special treat. Sometimes when two guys play near perfect, it's almost comatosing. But that's what we're seeing here. And he's going to get a look. And the 8 might help him in this situation.
Yeah, we'll see what the 3-7. Yeah, we'll see what the 3-7 looks like on the lower left side. Looks pretty tight. I wonder if he had to, if he had banked the 2 to be able to hold position or do something on the 3 that's needed. Don't think so, but
I think that's what he's looking at. Possibly a bank to the top left with maybe a low outside ball. If he can hold, great. If he comes down past the 4 and 5, it's okay. He's just looking for something to do with the 3. I don't believe it passes in the lower left. So the 8, when I said it would help him, it's actually going to hurt him.
is he drawn by the 8 between the 8-5? Swinging up 2 rails? Watch out. It's going to be all right.
Wow.
Fortune favors the brave. Now a little draw stroke to hold between the 7-9, it appears, anyways.
Yeah, just a simple pinch back.
I hate to say it, though, but was he trying to feel that draw off the 8 there off the 2 ball to where it does go down table?
Well, he went into it so heavily, you'd almost have to think it was a possibility in his mind for sure.
Yeah, that's what it seems like anyways. I mean, he doesn't miss his mark very much. And as Scott said, went into the 8, maybe half ball, right?
Yeah, just under half at most. So it was probably by design, as lucky as we might have felt he got getting on that 3. Still needed to come away with something down low, but played it well.
And this is an out to make it 4 out of 5 on the breaking in and win in the game. That's pretty good. It's what's needed, really, for either of these guys to advance against the other. Little in between here.
Yeah, might need a... So, see, Jeremy touched on it a little bit, but he might just choose to come over past the 8, or can he just hold floating forward?
I think he's going to the left.
Yeah, past the 8.
It's just stroke so pure. I mean, it's just... Whew.
Well, and if we can take anything away from it, it's that center ball right with the high cue ball. I mean, a lot of us would have tried to kill that with an inside ball and just drag up, where he made the shot easier with just a straight top.
And if you watched how quickly the 5-ball exited as the cue ball came slowly across, so that told you, even though it didn't appear so, really got a lot into that ball with pretty perfect speed, all things considered.
Yeah, kind of awkward now. You want to get back another 6 inches.
Yeah, he's got a hint of an angle, but looks like, you certainly can't cheat it off the left rail with this angle and this speed that's going to be required. So he's going to draw a little on top of the 9 with awkward cueing. Think he might come all the way back to the low rail and back up?
Oof.
I
Can
think
he get
so.
into it enough?
This guy? For sure.
Well, he's just directly over the 9, so I guess maybe he is. Kind of let up on the 7 the shot prior. Well,
A little snatchy.
Yeah, 100%. 2 rails in the lower right. Who didn't know that?
Yeah, and that angle was going way off off that mark, so that tells you how much he overcut it to the upper right corner, upper right point rather.
As simple as he's been playing, I kind of felt like he was just going to pinch back a foot and a half, and take the cut to the lower right. Didn't happen. That was the opening for Gorst that he's been looking for.
Like playing Scotch doubles or something, Scott, right? Me and you are playing, and I'm on the 8. You're going to say, oh, just get me back to here. I'm good, right? And you'll cut the 9 in, right? So
Of
you almost
course.
have to think like that sometimes
Yeah.
when you're out there by yourself. Remind yourself how good you are, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want you shooting that long 8 with power, Jeremy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I might fall over. But even if it's Kaci, you might say the same
Of
thing.
course,
But when he
absolutely.
says, no, I'm going to draw it back to this rail, you'll say, okay, big
Yeah,
guy,
I'm not
go
going to
ahead.
say anything after he tells me that.
Yeah, for
I'm going
sure.
to let him rip.
That's right.
We'll be right back, guys. They're going to take a short break. Yeah, so we're watching right now, just until Kaci gets back. David Alcady trailing 7-4 versus the Terminator, Niels Fayan. David's had a really good tournament, played real solid. I think he had 5 long matches yesterday. Did get a ball down and a look at the one. Well, I think it's natural just a 1 rail up for the blue 2.
Yeah, and you got to like David in the alternate break format, you know what I mean? Just feel like probably he doesn't break quite as well as those top guys. Of course, he breaks the balls really well. He can't win tournaments like he has without having a good break. And also the long balls sometimes after the break, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Not quite like Kaci or Fedor or some of them guys. He's great at it, but I think the alternate break really suits him.
Yeah, and he's played it well all week. He's trailing 7-4 now, and looks like it's going to be within 2. I don't see anything slowing him down except this cue ball. It's just touching Jeremy. He had 5 long matches yesterday. Really, actually, to your point with the format, really grinded it out, and that's his forte and his style, tactically known as one of the best.
Yeah, usually pretty good at the thin cut. Nice there. The cue ball's going to come clean. He's going to have a little distance, not a ton of angle on the 8, so he's got to make a decision just up the short side here on the bottom of your screen, I think.
Yeah, I think you have to go forward here. Hey, is he going low?
Oh, is he stunning 2 rails? Okay, he just kind of came up with the tip a little bit.
The big man is back. We'll watch David bury the 9.
And we'll keep you updated on that score.
And we're back to the main match. This break is devastating.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting first shot just because he's a hair off angle, I think. Couldn't maybe draw back for the bank, but he could roll forward for a combination that's pretty playable because he's going to be in close quarters.
I don't hate drawing back for the bank, though. The side pocket on the opposite end is a really fair pocket.
Yeah, I think that's the good thing about the bank is you can get in many little places that are okay, especially with the 5 so open and the bottom end.
No, I didn't quite. Maybe caught that 3 a little thinner because we saw the line. I thought he could almost come straight back.
Yeah, I didn't add any left English, but I think you're right, Scott. He did cut it a little more than he wanted. He won't go crazy here with a lot of speed. It won't be a dead roll, of course, but he'll cut it, come 2 cushions at the 9, I believe. And it could kind of make something messy with the 9 and the 8 and the 7. We'll see. The only other thing I could anticipate going bad, really, because I think he will make the bank, is maybe the cue ball gets on the rail or over a ball. There's that lighter speed.
Watch out, 7. Well, you just touched on being over a ball.
Yeah, with the 6-up table, and you're gonna fall a little bit of an angle no matter where you're at over there on the left side. So this has gotten a hair awkward, especially the 8, because you got to get on the 6 to get on the 7 to get on a tough 8 ball. So there's a lot going on here in rack number 10.
Yeah, and I almost feel like a really awkward way to play this ball, but you almost have to use a top inside and track 3 rails around. But I can't see you coming back towards the 8, 9, and 7, I feel like that's dangerous.
I think you got to dig on this. I think you got to take a chance coming back, really. But he's going inside, I believe. So he must be able to use more angle here and cue a little better.
Yeah, just get out towards the center if you can.
Yeah, didn't try to overdo it. Really good.
Love to be right where he is now or on that line. The good news about this play, though, is you could always go up to the corner with the 7.
Yeah, you can handle a little bit of a cut on the 7 and the side also and go into the 9 with the cue ball. There's all kinds of options, I think, just, you know.
Yeah, I was kind of touching, like, if he's playing to get kind of where he is now, Jay, you've got a little room to work with, right? If you overrun the cue ball, now you've got the top left corner for the 7.
And the bank on the 8. He's already settled for
Right.
banks on the 8 also if he happens to fall just dead straight on the 7 in the upper corner. Yeah, caught her thick. That's going to hurt most likely.
Almost looked like he had a big pause at the backswing there, which I don't see very often from him.
No, he only does it really on the heavy stun now, usually, and just like all of us, if we get a little quick on the back, tends to want to hold up a little, you know, on the transition. So again, I think like before, come on back with the cue ball. Oh, he could stun it over, so now he's almost automatic to get an angle to draw behind the 8. I don't think that was as easy as he made it look.
No, I think that's why he got off the ball. Really falling nice here.
And he wanted a little more out of that. This is a little bit of a tester. And this ball's missed both ways. Usually there's a tendency to miss it, but if you're really nervous and you kind of quit, you usually hit it thick, actually. But what I like about him is, all right, let me settle for a little more distance on the 9 so I can put a little more stroke here on the 8. Not try to baby it too much.
Yeah, very clean. Got the heavy side of the pocket as well, and it kind of held the cue ball up a little bit more.
Yeah, you can't take your eye off this one, though. No, you've made some good shots to get here, a couple nice ones, but got to maintain.
Yeah, Double J, the first big miss, and I guess we couldn't, in his defense, Fedor catching the 6 quite a bit full to the top left corner. It's really the first big miss that stood out to me.
Yeah, for sure. And there's been a you know, technically an error or two on a safety where they didn't quite get the snooker, but they still maintained and contained him for a shot or whatever. So I don't really consider that bad. I mean, it's a tough game in that regard, but yeah, I think the first unforced error, you would call it.
Yeah, do us a favor. Follow digitalpool.net/SBX. Also, PA Pro Am Pool on YouTube, Frank Miletti, who's producing. And then never forget WNTTV.com. They are worldwide, live. And that miss on the 6 by Gorst. Listen, it was not easy, right? The position was pretty natural, but just got it a bit thick, and it was, kind of awkward. One of those ones you've got to float in. But there was a lot of distance, and it was pretty steep, so still got to give him an error, but he's played really solid before this.
Yeah, but Eklent Kaci now in position to get a little separation, especially being on the breaking end of things. It's been really good so far. He did have a dry break, though.
Yeah, does the one pass and dry again, double J.
Yeah, those weren't hit as well, and just wasn't the connection we're used to seeing. The one missed by a little bit more, but after a big miss in the last game, and definitely a ball that can be missed, but did expect him to make it. I think a nice setup here to get back on the board and get things going for Fedor Gorst. Just got to go past the 8, or past the 7 rather. Maybe bump the 7. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he's clean past it, to be honest. Well, as close as it can get. Yeah, and the layout for Kaci, you can see that they probably caught some kisses. Jeremy, is this why they finished like this towards the center?
Well, you could hear it really, and the connection on the cue ball into the one wasn't quite what we're used to hearing and seeing, I think, for Eklent, but he's got to do a little work here. I mean, he's going to probably have to take an angle on the 3. So this is the type of rack that is supposed to get out, of course. Could come at the 3 and try and get a little closer.
Yeah, or maybe even the 6.
Oh, he's gambling here.
Oh, did he get away with this?
Yeah, I don't think he would have wanted to come at the 4. It would be, like you said, Scott, the 6. Now it's going to open up the rack nicely, it appears anyways. But another thing for all these guys and how amazing they are, that a lot of them been in a booth all week,
Yes.
Being with the fans and doing the right thing as they love to do, interact with the fans and make some new friends and whatnot, and maybe a little business in between here and there. So hats off to them.
Touched on it a lot, actually. I feel like that's a big factor that we can overlook, and I guess that's why we're here to touch on that. Listen, they are with fans all day long, having fun though. They're enjoying it. The experience here is really cool, but you've got to kind of take yourself out of that mindset once it's showtime. Coming down, that needs to settle.
This is going to get odd, very odd. He's going to have an angle, but is he going right at the side pocket, or excuse me, the corner pocket with the cue ball? It's close. It is very close.
A couple of mishits this rack. Touched on it before. You say it a lot, Jeremy, where top players or elite players will mishit a ball. They can often mishit it 2-3 times a rack, but they typically recover because they make the ball.
Yeah, that's true. Their margin for error with their fundamentals is a little greater, and also when it's on the good end, meaning when they really have the timing set in with it, things are exceptional. All right, he's got to elevate, it appears to me. I don't see him. He may end up a hair long on the 6 or somewhere near this cushion. Oh, he's trying to make it hop a little bit, Scott.
Is he going to the left long rail first?
I think he's trying to get to the short rail, like that. It's a very missable ball. You're trying to make it kind of ricochet off the ball a little bit, And, of course, the scratch didn't make him too happy, but I think those other couple strokes you were talking about in this rack is really where the frustration sits.
Yeah, towards the 4 instead of the 6, and maybe could have done what you were saying, actually go towards the 3 a little bit more, just short of it, if he was worried about trying to hold there on the blue 2. And that's really where it started.
Yeah, big opportunity after a big miss in the last game. A dry break here from Eklent, and really a great starter on the 1, which he made look easy, getting on the 2. And from there were a few little mistakes. Little guidey there. Maybe, nah, he's okay.
Still was a little guiding.
It was. Especially for him, though, just because he never guides the ball, it seems like. So it seems more apparent when it seems a hair guidey. Ooh, that one caught the knuckle. He held it too much. This may have gotten a hair odd.
And they are slightly forgiving side pockets. Now, we've seen them hold some balls up. I would assume if this is flat or dead straight that he could still. But I guess he doesn't want to go forward past the side. So, to your point, Jay, might have to take a little bit of a steep cut or come to the short side. These guys are not beyond coming past the 8 on the low side.
No, you feel like he could get to the side cushion, though, but maybe not. And really, though, if you watch the way that ball went in, the 6, it caught a lot of the right knuckle with him trying to hold the ball because he ended up a little short, and I think he just overdid it.
Is he going to the short side?
He's going into it. That's how rough it was. And you know, Scott, you've been there when you're in a position in the match where your opponent's made a couple mistakes and you really feel like you're in position to kind of shut the match down a little bit. You can get a little nervy even for yourself.
Yeah, and you'll start to feel it even from your opponent. You'll let it off that that's the position you're in.
I think he's got to go to the corner. Can he hit right before the side? Or is he just floating? Oh, you went past the side. Just that pure stroke going through the ball like you were talking about earlier, Scott.
He's real good at it.
I think it's just that center ball he gets in. You know, it's hard to dissect the cue ball perfectly in the center. You think a lot of people, self-included, think I'm in the center. I'm not. Where if you can really get it in, you know, lined up, you get a little more out of the cue ball.
You are watching PA Pro-Am Pool.
Bringing you the hottest action from today's top amateurs and pro shooters. Check out paproampool.com for all the latest info on our events and tournaments.
Yeah, Gorst playing catch-up now. I think it's a combination of both. He did take a break. Had some neck issues. I felt at the beginning of this tournament, and I think it still is the case. I mean, he's in the Final Four. I felt in the beginning of this tournament he was very hungry, and I still feel that way. But you do wonder how much not playing competitively in the last month and a half, maybe even 2 months, affects him under the extreme pressure. I don't know if it's fatigue, but a few mishits there, and you know how that can boil over.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this guy right here, though, can solve a lot of problems. That break shot's the 2 going to hang again? All right, it got just past the side, but that's okay. But, yeah, I mean, if you're going to, coming off an injury, you know, a guy that works hard away from the table when he's preparing for a tournament. But, I mean, if you're going to pick out a tournament to come back to, of course, this is an awesome tournament, but you talk about something that's going to wear you out if you're Fedor Gorst and the #1 player in the world and a guy that doesn't ignore any fans, it seems like. So, you know, this is he's giving it his all probably this week to get this far. So don't you think, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's actually my point. To me, like and you can read subtle things in any player. To me, it looked like he was trying extra hard the very first match, and he had a decent draw the first match, right? But he didn't take anything for granted. I've seen that from him from day one. But in slight contrast to his opponent, who just won Yale Billiards, also was in the European Open, and played the PLP. So he has really been putting in the time competitively, and it's showing. And I'm talking about Eklent Kaci there.
Yeah, he's got to get on the 4 decent. The 5's a little odd. It's got to go a little bit. This could get a little hairy with not much angle to move the ball, but on the wrong side. Just looks like the timing's off a hair on a couple shots, don't you think, for Fedor?
Yeah, and I didn't see it really until like, the midpoint here. Probably about a rack and a half, 2 racks ago, I think we saw something. Well, when he missed the 6 to the top left, maybe that set him off a little bit. Listen, we're human. Might have touched on his confidence just a tick, and then things start to go sideways.
Yeah, is he trying to go to the right of the 6, 2 rails down tight? Whew. This angle looks pretty rough for that. If the 6 wasn't there, you could certainly kind of make it ricochet, kind of stun off the 4 a little and wrap the corner. But
well, he's doing it, Jay.
yeah, he's got to kind of smooth it a little bit, be honest. Yeah, like that. Let it kind of work rather than lose the line on the cue ball. Still going to fall a little 50-ish. But okay.
It's still great to get there, right?
Yeah, he's off the rail. Much different than the last rack when shooting that, I think, same 5 ball.
Yeah, when he did miss that ball, I also felt like maybe he could just dig down 1 rail up instead of trying to level out and go 2 rails.
Yeah, he's trying to use side spin and a little bit of pace. Yeah, I thought initially he would elevate.
Right.
And just because he was close to it, kind of leveled out here.
Yeah, it's just the way he likes to play it, I guess, and I can understand why with a tip of outside.
Yeah, but he had so much more of the meat of the cue ball there than being on the rail, than the last one. You know what I'm saying? Like he could get down on the ball a little bit.
He could have gone 1 rail there, no problem, though. That's what you're saying, right?
Like it,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you have enough angle to stun 2 rails like that at that speed, you'd certainly have enough to dig on the cue ball and draw it. But he's okay. We're certainly not questioning the way he's playing it.
Similar 6 missed to the top left a few games ago. That one a little bit closer with the cue ball.
All right, doing what he really needs to do here. Knows he can't trade games, though, right, Scott? That mathematically does not work.
No, it does not. He's playing catch-up now, and this is a start. Trailing 7 games to 5. And the U.S. Open. Touched on it just a little bit ago. August 18th through the 23rd. Double J has won the event. Double J thinks this is the toughest event still to win. There are some that are right on its skirt tails, but I have to agree, 256 players in a real nice venue. Harrah's Resort in Atlantic City. Tickets pre-sale were the 14th, general sale coming the 16th. Starts tomorrow, actually, the pre-sale. My date was off. Don't exactly know what's happening here. Maybe getting another rack. been a couple of questions within the break. I think they just replaced the rack, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, now if one player wanted to keep the original rack, they certainly could.
Well, that's actually a good point. I've talked about changing the rack out, and these racks are not bulletproof. If you get a crease in any part of it, it can offset the balls a little bit, even to the naked eye not noticing. But I do think the Matchroom Magic Rack is the best rack. They fight for it down in Phoenix.
Yeah, Eklund's had his last 2 were dry breaks.
Yeah, and very awkward finishes as well with the object balls compared to what he's known for.
Yeah, look at here, not being stubborn, changing sides. You can see the marks he puts on the table on our right side of the box. Watch out, cue ball. See that scratch quite often. Pretty brutal there. Catches that 9, I think it is, and it just slowly creeps across. Sometimes it gets a shave from another ball, but that one there was...
Look at the speed on the 9. I mean, he went flush into it, and it still creeped into the side. The door has been open for Gorst. Guess why? If he gets out here, he'll have the break.
Yeah, I was going to really commend Eklent there. I mean, I've been in a situation where, you know, I'm up 7-5 or scenario, whatever it is, up a few games nearing the end of the match. And even though I've had a dry break or 2 from my location, he's had some break and runs also. So I'd say to myself, hey, I'm winning. Why would I change? But I think it was smart to change there and understand that, hey, I had some dry breaks in 7-5. It's a lead, but it's not, you know, the match isn't over by any means. Did he get there? This is a little off, isn't it?
It's a lot off.
Yeah, the 5's up table. Got to get a little funny on the pink 4. Can he go into the 9 and be okay for the 4 on the side?
Yeah, he'd like it to be off that much, actually, where he could float. He might be in an awkward position where he just has to skim the edge of it. He'd like to go into the 9 heavy, I think, here.
He may draw this above the 4. May just go ahead and let it go.
Yeah. Everything just finishing a little funny for him. Now is he kind of on that line where he could finish on the rail if he draws back?
Yeah, certainly so. And if he toys around, watch out, not side pockets, not a problem. I think he's stunning right before coming at it. Ooh, he went across, showing us the power.
Yeah, letting it loose, maybe trying to get a little more comfortable. Nothing wrong with it.
All right, going for an extension. Shooting from this corner, so should just be 1 cushion. Could do 2, whichever he likes. Might actually do 2. We'll see. He likes that a lot.
Yeah, he does like the outside ball. He goes away from the inside ball to use it. Just feel like he's working really hard. Where in the beginning it was a little bit more flowy, I guess would be the word.
Yeah, well, I don't mind it. I mean, he's had a few didn't like. He's trying to grind through it a little bit. He's certainly a worker anyways, so.
Another reason I think this format as well is very good for him. Every ball just a little awkward, though. This isn't. He's going to get plenty out.
Yeah, but he's had to work the ball quite a bit, right? He's had to get into it. So that's not a problem. Just saying you don't want to have to do it time and time again.
Can become taxing. Couple of big swings as of late. Gorst going to be within one now.
We are guaranteed 4 phenomenal days of action right here in Florida. Drama is certainly guaranteed in front of a hugely raucous crowd. The American fans really get into the spirit.
Nineball fans all around the world. There's so much history, so much prestige, and it all comes down to this.
So much action lies ahead at the Caribe Royale in Orlando, Florida.
All right, it's the perfect opportunity. He knows what he's looking for. And that's a start. He's going to get that look that he wanted. You can't ask for much more. You can just come across the top of the 5 here. You don't need to try to get any closer.
Yeah, everything's, excuse me, everything's pretty open. Makes this big shot here. Gets to the right side, the 3-4 near each other. 5, 6, 7 on the bottom. As always, or not always, as often, that these players have to make the biggest shot right after the break. Or what looks that way anyways. Things can change so quickly, though. Niels Fan up 8-6 over David Alcady.
Yeah, really giving this 2-ball a lot of credit. It's a key moment. He's got an opportunity, and he's kind of, this is really the game ball here in his mind. He's got an opportunity to tie the match up. It's in his hands.
Yeah, that was clean. A little right English there to check the cue ball. Looks like a little in between here as well. Just a hair. Can he go one rail between the 4-8? Does he have to kind of stun over? Can he play underneath easily?
Well, this is one where I think he would go one rail.
That's what it looks like to me anyways. It almost looks like also if you catch the 8, it's hard to have a big problem there either. Yeah, it looks like he's going 1. Got it thick. That always helps, going through the ball.
Yeah, he's got to follow through. That is so sweet to watch. He'll follow through when he's soft rolling a ball at very slow speeds. And I talk to people. A lot of people don't realize how difficult that actually is. It's easy to follow through when you're using pace. But boy, when you're rolling a ball, to have the same follow through is special.
Just a hair off angle here, but most likely a stun. Doesn't need a lot. Not off angle, but just not a lot of angle. But see how he had to get into the cue ball.
Same here, Jeremy. Just a little off, where he's probably coming back just right of the cue ball now. Don't want to go forward. The 9 is there. Maybe a little straighter than I think, but he's definitely not in any trouble. Yeah, so coming back a little further just to get a better line on the 7 instead of some extreme cut.
Yeah, looks like he's going to pound this a little bit also. Oh no, he kind of sweeted it. Didn't have as much angle as I thought. It's hard to tell with Fedor because he always drops the tip with the draw, like right here.
Yeah, it really is hard to tell it many times. Really all started with the dry break by Kaci. A couple of racks ago.
It was a scratch on the break, wasn't it? With the kiss
Oh, it was
off
the
the
scratch off
kiss
the
off
9 to the right side.
Yeah, he did make the 1. I believe he did make the 1, but
yeah, it was a heavy hit into the 9.
So the break has gotten him here the last part of the match. Didn't cost him all those games, but it's been 2 dry breaks and then a scratch. So he's got to get that cleaned up at 7-7.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was a real brutal scratch. He did everything he wanted to do going heavy into the 9 like that. It was the breaks prior, to your point, Jeremy, where he was dry and switched the rack out, and it seems like everything was good until that scratch, which was wild.
Yeah, I think he'll stick to that side he changed to. I mean, you got to look at that scratch and say, yeah, I'm gambling, but let's gamble again if I can make the 1, and it's at 7-7, so some big turning points. Momentum shifts. You might say it feels like Kaci's just been ahead the whole time, which he has, but even now it feels like he's still
does, yeah. Well, if you discard the break, he's made less mistakes. There's no question. But neither player really making an abundance of errors. He's big on that, wiping the cue ball off. He does it every time he's got ball in hand. He'll rub it against the rail 4 or 5 times. I see a lot of players that do this just to get the chalk off. A little thick right there, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like it.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get another look. We will. Cue ball zigzag, but it just didn't have that sound like I'm used to from him. And the 1 really missed by a piece, it looked like.
Yeah, I think it caught the top point, Jay. Is he looking across this low?
I wonder what I would do here. Because there's definitely some options, I think, that are not all great, I don't think, with the 2 pinned away. Can he control the 1 crossing it and going back up the table by the 8? I don't know.
Maybe with an outside, though. Can you hit it heavy and come up between the 7 and 9 and maybe use the 6-2-3?
That's what I was looking at, what he was just looking at. Can he do something with the 1 and come inside English underneath the 3, maybe?
Oof. Boy, that looks tough.
I think that's what he's looking at, though. Some kind of cut on the 1 where it kind of floats 1 rail between the 4-7 and the cue ball comes underneath the 3.
Yeah, so but you've got maybe a back door on the blue and the green?
No, I think you got to
it's
either.
all under the 3.
I think it's all under the 3, or
Yeah.
you might sell out the 1 and the side.
Seems heavy to me. I really like the cross. I don't know if the problem is maybe the 9. Is that just a huge ball in the cross?
It looks like he's got to hit it kind of thick to make sure the 1 gets across without hitting the 9.
Yeah, he's looking at your play, I believe, with this line here. Unless he's looking.
Key to this is really be able to control the speed on the 1 where it just banks 1 rail and sits around where it's at now.
Really? Yeah, okay.
You know, the speed, I'm
Sure.
The speed. So.
Yeah, I just feel like the cross is really laying well. Maybe I'm seeing something incorrectly. Just because the 1 is off so much, you kind of can manipulate what it's doing. I think that's maybe what he's looking at now with the finger. He does this measuring thing at times, and it's kind of hard to. It's kind of like Chinese.
could push through on the one and put it behind the pink. If you were close to it, you might do that. It's not bad. I don't know.
Pretty sure he's crossing this.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Yeah,
really
is he
aiming
banking
low.
it around 3 rails underneath the 3, like that. It's going to open up a little bit, but
Pretty clever idea. I never see him actually hit where he's aiming when he's using a low ball like that, but he keyed into the low ball right away there. Not going to like this, I don't believe, though.
no, he shouldn't overall. Pretty big ball to get behind the 8. Now, do you just lay on the rail and surrender to the jump cue, or do you try to come up on the 8 here?
Yeah, and maybe even get the 1 past the 9. I don't know if that's too steep, but if he could check it and get the 1 past the 9, that really eliminates the jump cue.
I think he can get it down here decent ways with just like a straight high ball.
Can you get it to the right of the 9, though?
I wouldn't get too concerned with that. I'll just if
Just
I'm
a-
coming up on it, come up on it, you know. He just decided to play for the snooker. And just make sure you get the 1 past the side, right, Scott? I mean, oh, here comes Shorty.
Yeah, but I agree. Like, I have no problem leaving even Fedor this jump. If he makes it, he's really earned it. We've talked about him being the best jumper in the world, but these guys, he's put so much focus or notice, put them all on notice that they've all gotten really pretty equivalent. All the elites. It's fascinating how well they can jump the ball. And this is a full ball. So really got to get over it. And the cue ball going to kind of kill before contact.
Trying to hold for a two-way. How strong is that? I think so, anyways. All right, he's got to come 3 rails underneath this, doesn't he? Around the 7. Spin.
Yeah, can you get the power on it spinning around the 7?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think so for sure. Got a nice way. You can cut the 1 and come over. You can come behind it. Make it in the side. You got a wall with the 2-3 there, and he kicks so well anyways. Oh, he's going for the jump cue, so he's going to try and land on top of this 1 ball. You got to love the aggression, right? I mean, and the confidence to be able to do something like this here, jump this, and it's got to land on it. It's just got to, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think if not, it's landing right in front of it. But I do love the aggression. I feel like that's how you win these tournaments. And you've got to take it away from the guy. Oh, could there be a problem with the bridge? Look at the fingers. They were really awkward there. So the bridge is real awkward. That can make a huge difference in something this difficult.
Yeah, and this is something, the guys might toy around with every now and again, but you can't measure and jump, practice all these different jumps.
No.
It's got to be by feel and imagination. Of course, some knowledge involved, without a doubt, and a lot of talent.
Yeah, the more I look at him try to settle that bridge, I'm pretty into your shot. I think there's a lot more that can go right.
He's so good at it,
Yeah, I think if he could bridge a little better, Jay, be different, but not looking good. Just no platform or foundation there with the fingers. It's a little better.
Is he running the ball off the edge?
Looks like it.
That's an easier jump.
But I don't know if he's intentionally running the ball.
That's funny. Wow. That's what I was about to say, man. You hit it perfect, hang the ball. That's be brutal, but it's exactly what's happening from 7-4, was it? Was it 7-4? 7-5? 7-4?
7-4.
Yeah.
He'll go to the top right with the 2.
Yeah, the Terminator Hall of Famer Niels Fein on the hill at 9-7 over David Alcady.
I'll tell you what, man. You know, I might not see Niels. You play a few majors a year, but the guy is just still really as good as ever.
Yeah, he's been out there grinding the World Nineball Tour though, quite a bit.
The last few, right? I know he went.
Played a lot. Yeah, he hasn't missed many of them through the last couple of years. Is this going to get a little odd straight?
Maybe just some of the events I didn't go to, Jay.
Yeah, but he, semifinalist. Wasn't last year at the U.S. Open? He's made several final 16s, TV rounds, you might call it. Now he's gotten a little awkward here. It's almost like I feel like, is he stunning straight out? I almost feel like you got to gamble going forward with top inside.
Felt like a heavy inside even, just a soft forward, but open up real good. Maybe he's a little straighter than we think, but
he's going to stun in between the 6-9, I think. I think that's what he's looking at. It feels like that's a bigger gap than drawn behind the 6 for that gap. Easy to overdo. Oh, he went inside. That was the shot.
Inside to the gap. Steep.
Pretty good, though. Can he come between the 6-9 now?
Looks like it. Yeah, it looks pretty natural, right, Jay? To just miss the top side of the 9.
Yeah, as long as you miss the 9 and don't baby it, you know what I mean? Don't to where you settle funny on the rail. I think it's okay.
Actually, isn't the worst if you catch the top side of the 9, as long as you're not crushing it.
True. Yeah.
Perfect. I think to your point there, don't baby it. That's the key to the shot. Very easy at times to let up a little bit there just to feel like you're getting the ball down.
Yeah, make that complete swing, Again, he'll come twice, 2 cushions most likely. Very good flowing swing there. Oh, this is going to run a little bit on him, just a little. Should be okay. He's kind of in that work mode again, I think. So I think he's feeling a little better, Scott.
Yeah, he's definitely got light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, this is just 2 rails across, somewhat to where the cue ball's at now. Could be a little bit, check it a little more with inside. You could go above the side, actually, 2 cushions and take a little distance on the 7 because the 8's pretty playable. I wouldn't doubt if he does that, actually.
Yeah, we talk about the outside ball for Gorst. Really, it might just lay natural for a straight top ball over and back. I don't even know if the check is necessary. He did it. So it must have felt like that cue ball was going to kind of dive forward if he just used a top ball there coming above the 7. And that's why he put the outside on it.
I think it had to be a hair inside or outside. So he decided go ahead and go with the outside. You know what I mean? I think straight ball was more maybe coming towards the side pocket.
That's exactly what, okay.
Let the stroke out a bit here. And the timing looks better and better every delivery to me. I don't know. I can't quite recall, but I feel like it might be his first lead here. Did he get the lead at 5-4? I can't quite remember.
No, I don't believe he's ever had it, Jay.
Yeah,
he's always been playing catch up.
Good time to get it here at 8-7. Solid stuff from Fedor Gorst, like always. And his first lead, as Scott said, at 8-7. We're racing to 10. I didn't hear any overwhelming cheers, but so it's still 9-7 to Fan over David Al-Kaidi, I believe, anyways. Yeah, they're fighting on the 2 ball there. Looks like David's going to get some kind of look. Pretty good one. A little bit of a messy rack. The 5, 6, 7, 9. All right, a couple kisses, but he's going to get the top side of it, I think, anyways. Maybe not. See, that was a good break, but you could see some balls getting kissed right there in the middle.
And the 9 looks like a big ball, Jay.
Yeah, I think you may be right. It's going to be a difficult push out, like always.
It's close.
I thought at first he had it, but at second glance I thought maybe not.
Well,
he can hit right English.
There, he can get into it.
Yeah, if he's looking to get there, he can put right English with not worrying about deflecting into the 9.
Uh-oh. He's going to get the point. Don't know that he's going to go with this one.
No, you got to put the 3 below all them balls and drag them up behind the 7, maybe, Scott? Bank the 3 up.
What about going at it? Is it too dangerous? Or just use the 7 for sure? He's looking at the cross corner, but maybe just staying out?
He may be able to come straight across behind the 4 and 8. He figures to hit the bank to the pocket, right? So
yeah.
I think you may be right there. Just go ahead and put some speed on it. Now it's a pretty heavy hit, so he's got to hit it with a little speed to get across. Yeah. I think I like that better.
Much easier to miss this low, so it is a heavier hit. That's the thought process you want.
Now he's looking maybe at the other shot, the safety. Looking to cut the 3 a little more, kind of bring the cue ball up behind the 7.
That's probably a higher percentage. I don't know that you can go wrong playing it that way up there behind the 7.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it seems like look how good a placement this is, ladies and gentlemen.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, not saying it won't get hit, but that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's big trouble. Like, real big trouble.
Let's see, looking at 1 cushion, how can you not go underneath?
You have to come 2, right?
Yeah.
You have no choice here, I don't believe.
Well, I mean, you could bend it or something with draw, and the chances are pretty slim. And not only that, for him, that it's not that hard of a kick to get the hit on the 3 coming from underneath, in my opinion anyways.
Yeah, and I feel like you could get away with one coming underneath, like just a little softly.
Yeah, and I mean, I would go at the lighter side, obviously. But if you decided to just smash it from underneath, I wouldn't hate that either. Just, let them rock and roll a little bit.
Especially if it helps you with your accuracy, there's nothing wrong with it. If you feel like you're going to make better contact, for sure.
Yeah.
Now he's looking at it. I mean, it's a much bigger ball.
Yeah, you can cut the 3 into the 4 and sneak up on top of the 8. You could double kiss the 3 right there. Little unlucky the 9's there. You know, you could hit it well and leave some type of little kiss shot on the 9, but I feel like unlikely if you hit the 3. If he elevates, that means he's coming one cushion at it. He's getting us a little trick shot here.
He's coming one cushion.
And trying to kiss the 3 and make the 9. Watch. He's going to elevate.
Well, this is, you know, I guess his thought process is here, if he comes long of the 3, he just moves the 9 and might not lose the game anyway.
Maybe.
Oh,
wow. Take the pot. Get that one down there, Frank.
How good was this hit here?
Well, I mean, the people have been hearing us talk about really he might be the best player at kicking the ball, and he's showing us another one there.
Well, this one was better than the 2-rail combination kick at the Worlds back in Jeddah.
Yeah.
That was maybe one of the best kicks I've seen in a long time there. He did not have all of the 3, I can assure you.
He's got a little grin on his face right now, too, while he's racking the balls. You can see it, especially if you know him. But that's very Efren-esque. That's what I was talking about before. You know, today's game, I think they kick better. But, you know, what would Efren do in certain situations? And he showed us one right there, you know, coming with a little more than just trying to make a hit.
Listen, I think that was equivalent to the difficulty of Efren, really. I mean, you did not have much of the 3 to get to.
Yeah, and he had to bend it. And, of course, if you hit the 3, the 9's there. That's why he's doing it. But he still had to connect on the 9 pretty decent. Talk about a turning point, and that's why you want to see it to where there's a little bit of both players involved, because you know Fedor Gorst, we talk about one pocket all the time. The same thing at Nineball. Fedor Gorst played a great shot. He just got one put back a little better on him. You know,
that's the beauty of what we're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was completely jailed up, and the only route was 2 rails to the backside.
Now you make a shot like that, is the break going to finally open up? It's the second half of the match. It's been a little rough.
Well, and he's been on the break's tail, right? The entire time once the rack was switched.
I don't know. He might go back to his original breaking position, which would be his left side of the box.
Yeah, I guess it was the first time he went to the other side. He had great success, but went off the 9 into the side.
Yeah, that score, we'll update it. It is 8-8. Race to 2 to get into the final of this tournament.
Yeah, speaking of that, this is the digital pool system, digitalpool.net/SBX. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Still 9-7 with Niels and David.
Yeah, one of the best kicks I've seen in quite a while, to be honest. If you really just break down that series there and the scenario, as good as it gets.
Well, you called it, Scott, a close one. Of course, we expect these guys to respond, and it's not always that way, but they've really done it here in this match, in this semifinal. He did go back to that original breaking position. He's going to love it. The 2's going to get open, I believe. Not going to be easy with the 4-7, but...
Well, he sure did go back to the original breaking position. He sure is going to love it.
He's got clean cueing here. The 4-7's not that bad. The 5-8 could be the real problem.
Where did that come from? I thought everything was open. Did not see it.
They scrambled around. But the good thing is the 4-7, if he gets on it, that's going to offer probably some kind of angle on the 4 to do something handy on the 5. But we'll see. Still got to knock in a nice 2-ball, get on the 3 to get to that combo. Yeah, I think he's going to be okay here. I think these first 2 shots really get in position to play a combination where it's not very missable. I think you're going to be okay. Whether get underneath the 5 and play a safety later behind the 8, something like that.
Just wonder if he's a little steeper than we think.
You mean on this 2?
Yeah.
You mean like angle-wise?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think he can hold it somewhat. He may rip it and go the rail, but I think that's flirting with a miss and maybe an error with the cue ball. See how he holds it with aggression, not trying to baby it. Really, that's the difference in the pros. A lot of times are understanding what's happening with the cue ball. A lot of people try to let up holding. Yeah,
Shane is real good at it.
It took me a while to learn that. You know, I try to a lot of times feather it instead of letting the tip position do its job. You know. All right, got to go inside here, Scott. I
Forward,
think so.
Right?
Yeah, he is. He'll start out a hair low and then bring the tip up a hair.
Could have been, or could have used a little more angle maybe. Would have been okay with it, I can promise.
Or he'll get closer if he hits it well. Like that. Now he's going to offer a little angle coming off the 4 to the 5-8 after he pockets this combination. He's got a chance to get out here. It's sitting pretty good, I think. Just got to draw your ball a little bit. Now, I guess the 5 definitely doesn't pass. The 8?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
This is a combination you can have a tendency to catch a little thin.
Yeah, again, I say it too often, I think, but again, just like you did before, get into the ball, don't let up, get a little draw stroke on it. It'll help the 7 slide a little bit.
Yeah, it's just a fuller hit than maybe you would think. Perfect.
Now, do you gamble on the breakout, or do you just get in a safety position? It is 8-8, and these are aggressive players.
Well, you can definitely drag down to the top rail.
It's not sitting terrible to come across it, though, and odds are you're going to hit a good side of the 8 one way or the other. It's not terrible.
I mean, listen, he stayed aggressive with the kick. I believe Niels Fahan has just moved on.
Yeah, the Hall of Famer.
Great tournament for Spain and David Alcady.
Boy, this is a hard one for me to not try to open.
That's kind of what I was saying. He's been aggressive.
Well, when it sits well, too. Okay, he played from underneath. Man, he might run out from here anyways if he fell in the side pocket. Don't put it past him. Now, I think he's going to stitch him, but won't be a jump cue involved here, I don't think, for Fedor Gorst.
No, and can he actually play like the 5, 2 rails tight up, you know, just right of the 6 where it makes life even more difficult?
I personally just ignore that and try and get as close to the 8 as possible.
Yeah, he's trying to wedge him straight up on it.
Yeah, make him kick to that short rail some kind of way awkwardly like this. Ooh, he almost kept the 5 underneath the 9 as well. That would have been pretty handy.
But even an open space like this, it's so much more difficult to make contact with.
Yeah, this is one I like to hit center ball. I don't want to judge the when I'm close to the rail like this, if I'm going to that top cushion, Scott, I don't want to judge a high ball on that one. I want to hit more center and pick out my line to where it kind of holds. Now, if I'm a diamond or 2 up.
Are you using a bit more speed with the center ball?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that way it doesn't turn over.
Got it.
Or not so much anyways. Now, if I'm a little further away from that top rail, I don't mind the top English because it doesn't bend on you so much because it's already kind of gained character a little bit with the space. But not easy, though. Very easy to whiff this.
Yeah, so are you saying with the center ball that your cue ball's probably still sliding to the second rail as well and carrying a true line all the way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So just trying to make something happen with the hit. The speed is really automatic, right? You're going to hit it with above medium.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and not rip at it, of course, but I'm gonna have enough to maybe get a little separation. Maybe I come across the top of the 5 and bank it back up as the cue ball stays on this bottom end. This department, I give Eklent a little edge over pretty much, of course, Fedor here in this match, a little edge, but pretty much over the entire world. We saw that a second ago with the kick on the 3-9 kiss shot. What a shot that was.
Yeah, one of the, well, yeah, I don't know, that might be the best shot I've seen so far in the tournament. I have not covered every match, obviously. Or we have not. Okay, Jeremy, he's not going to use a center ball, but I couldn't agree more with you. I wonder what pace he'll use here. Okay, same thing, hitting it hard.
Great hit. Really good, well judged also. He did give it up, I believe.
Yeah, actually a little cold-blooded. He put a lot of effort into the hit there, a lot of energy, really figuring things out. Had some good things happening. And we will have a 30-minute break following this match. I think that's good. Very good, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, give guys a little time. I don't think they want a lot of time anyways, just enough to get a breather, a little bit of fresh air. It's finally really beautiful outside. It's been a little gloomy all week, but it's been a great event. I haven't been here in 20 years or so, Scott, and I really enjoyed the vibe here this week.
Man, I actually did as well. I was talking about the same thing. It's probably been 12 years or maybe 8 to 12. My timelines are off. 8 to 12 years. I felt like it was 12. But yes, the vibe has been awesome here. Did come here a couple of times in a row, though. Really sticking to his guns, Kaci. Did move from the break spot.
Yeah, and another lead change late here.
Yeah, one away from a final, and another final at that. Eklent Kaci just winning a fairly big ranking event at Bobby Hilton's room, Yale Billiards in Connecticut, Wallingford, Connecticut. He's been getting closer every event. Struggled a little bit at the PLP, but seems like he's really coming together.
All right, the 2's going to come around, but the 9-ball's a big ball. If he gets over the side, he will jump at it. I think he will anyways.
Fully agree. Just because the push out is not easy.
No, it'd probably only be another jump on the push out, I would think anyways. You could put him down here in the lower right corner, challenge him. Boy, hate to challenge a big guy, but can he get enough of the ball to not worry about the 7, Scott? I think so, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like he can. I mean, I think he'd actually hit it real good to get to the 7.
Is he looking at the line off the 2, or is he looking at a push out maybe?
Well, you did mention challenge him from the lower right. I'm surprised he's not going at the jump cue, though, because you know he's going to track back down. Maybe he's just concerned about running into the 7.
Yeah, I think he's going that jump cue now, maybe. Maybe not. It looked like he took an extension off, but it may be his playing cue.
Well, I know a couple of different Fedor Gorsts, and at least one of them would jump this ball.
Just must not believe he can get position is all I can feel. I mean, I really don't understand it otherwise. Love to ask him about it, but he's going to challenge now. This is where you can consider, Scott, I break on the hill. Do I want to go ahead and try and take this on and take it down? He's going to have to make the 2 and then cut the 4, but is there an option for safe that's pretty good?
You might be able to run the cue ball coming off the left side of the 2.
Yeah.
Like you're one railing it below the 5 or between the 5 and 7, but I like what you just said there. Do you really take it into your own hands? You know you're breaking next, but just put everything into burying this ball. The pink is going to be easier, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, slices would it be on the pink. There's always the other way of looking at it. Hey, he's got to make one heck of a shot at a pretty darn good one on the pink.
It's the beauty of the push.
Yeah, do you give it back?
I think this is another reason that the alternate break can be really an exciting format.
Well, I think with this break rule too, I think it shows a lot. I mean, we've seen a lot of different types of pool this week. Seems like it's like that every week.
The break rules changed the game, right? The break rule and the tighter pockets have changed the game of 9-ball, period.
Yeah, he was kind of looking over on the left side rail there. I'm not sure what he was measuring up, but I think it's off the left like you're talking about. And I don't know if the speed to lay the 2 ball down on the end rail really agrees with the speed to move the rock. Maybe. No, he's going lighter. He's going lighter. What a shot. What a shot, young man.
Did he cut him off from the top side? Is he that good?
That's close. I thought at first it was the full snooker, but now it looks like there may be a little piece.
Still hit it amazing to get where he did, really. Recognizing the simple play, and he is great at that.
Could jump it, kind of hit the left side, bank it up towards the 8 and 6, and go up to the top rail with the cue ball. Not terrible.
I don't mind that at all. They're so accurate with it. He's really barely got to get over a piece of the 5 if he's aiming like this now. So it's got big potential. I don't mind that shot at all, actually. Unless he thinks he can feather this 2 enough to where he can hide the cue ball. Boy, it still seems a little edgy.
Yeah, it looks like to me if he's got to play that shot, he's just got to play all cue ball behind something because it's hard to control the 2, I think, anywhere.
Right.
Isn't it so thin? Can't really comfortably swerve it, it doesn't appear. Maybe he can. He's a little elevated.
Is there even a chance of him just crossing it over like above where the cue ball's at now and dropping down below the 4? Is it too thin?
I think it's too thin. That's the first shot I kind of looked at when you showed that other view for a moment. I was like, it didn't look like he could really cross it over. I really like the jump, I think, for these guys.
I agree. I really like it as well. Maybe he's going to try and dig and do the same thing?
Like swerve? He's leveled out here.
All right, he's got to find cover somewhere.
He's got to find a gap between the 6 and 9, I think. Yeah, it's so easy to run into that ball right there.
Yeah, always going to be tough because you can't get movement on the 2.
No, he's gotten him where he's got to make one heck of a shot to get position and pocket the 2. Whether that be going forward or drawing back short side. You'd like to go forward from distance if you can, but it's not easy.
You know, I do think this is a ball that even the elite at times kind of get the wrong mindset with and feel like they've got to pound it. Fedor, not really that guy, though. Fedor gets through the ball, meaning a follow-through, so well on the low cue ball that he can reduce the speed and get more out of the cue ball. So this is one that's real doable for him.
All right, he's going forward here.
I think he's going to trick us, JJ.
Stun?
Yeah, I think he was trying to come back a little better than that, don't you?
I think he's all right, settled for this, I guess. I don't know. His tip never went very low at all.
Seems like he is okay with it.
Yeah, he's going to let this run some 1, 2, 3 in between the 7-5, up for the 5 in the upper right. That's where he's going to look. See right there.
Yeah, and that way he can stay aggressive.
Man, when the nerves are high. Sorry, Scott.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
I was just going to say, so easy to overcut this ball when the nerves are high. Because he's going to add a hair left English, and it's just, I don't know what the tendency is or why the overcut happens. Even with good strokes, I'm talking about it. It's easy to hit that top knuckle.
I think hitting it with a little speed, Jay, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think hitting it with a little speed is more comfortable than trying to float it with a high outside ball.
Yeah, and that's what the angle wants to do anyways. There's a lot of angle here, so he doesn't have to crush it, but he has to, a little more medium maybe. Oh, you hit it sweet. It's got to go a hair, just a little.
Really did hit it sweet.
What he's looking at there is his 3-rail angle, I think, between the 6-8. Is he playing this in the side?
I think he's got to come just...
He's got to go the corner.
Right of the middle with the cue ball?
Yeah, he's going to go 3 rails between the 6-8, I believe.
Yeah, the 9. Yeah, the 9 could be big.
Yeah. Wonder if he can hit it with the top right. No, he's got to kind of draw off it a little bit. Now, the 9 could be huge here, you're right. This is, it almost lays where you want to almost level out and shoot it, but he's going to hit downward a little bit.
Yeah, the closer you get to the right side pocket, just beneath it, the better I think this is. Yeah. Here's the 9, just by it. As good as you could do.
Just by the 8 as well, and you could hear the applause now set up for giving what all of us want, another hill match between these two greats.
Yeah, so a series of great shots. The long ball, then the cut on the pink with a little bit of pace, and now this ball. A lot of cue ball movement. It was necessary, but recovered real well here with this. This is where I feel like the fundamentals for Gorst really tend to shine, whereas some players in the last 3 situations he's had in this rack might falter. We'll definitely come to the second rail here. I don't think we'd have it any other way.
Yeah, probably just holds his ball here. He could go over. It's up to him, really. I think just hold, though. Oh, maybe not.
Pretty hard to miss it, just smoothing it in.
Yeah. Give yourself a little more room for error with the pocket.
Well, it's game on for Gorst. We got action. Hill, 9 apiece. And it's been back and forth. The biggest lead by Kaci, 7 games to 4.
Just want to remind everybody that as soon as this match right here is over, we're going to have a 30-minute break, and then we'll play the final. Right here on the same table.
Feels like this match has been really at the highest class.
Let's give a round of applause.
Seen a little bit of everything here. Both of these guys. Now, real quick, the payouts. 6K difference between first and second. 15,000, 9,000, 7,000. This match here will guarantee you second place.
What do you think's going through his head right now, Scott, with some dry breaks? Of course, it's Hill, trying to get to the final of the tournament against the #1 player in the world. He's probably just thinking, man, I really want to freeze this ball right here. I don't know what is going through Eklent's mind.
Well, I hope it's not what happened in Saudi Arabia. But really, if he's thinking that way, actually, as to what happened in Saudi Arabia, maybe he's got something in mind, a little payback for Gorst. We just never see breaking runs on the Hill. And I'm hoping the commentary jinx is alive and well and we get to see something like that. But I expect it to be just a little bit of an awkward rack. It always seems to be, Jeremy. And I hope he's thinking revenge.
Yeah, well, I don't think he'll back off with the speed on the break. That's seen that time and time again with him, and doesn't back down. I'm with you, though. It seems like there's always a push-out situation or some type of tussle for the first shot, the first open shot. There's, I'm sure, what was a great gesture between the two champions. A little bit of a good luck.
Yeah, and you just feel like Gorst trailing 7-4 as well. He's just never out of it. So many matches at the Worlds where he was trailing 6 or 7 games. He's just looking for a breath of air.
You know, Kaci going back to where he started this match. There's that straight stroke we're used to seeing. Gonna get through that cue ball.
Watch the 9. Oh, it had movement, big movement to the lower right.
The 2. I think it's there. Oh, yeah, it's makeable.
And pretty natural to the 3, I believe, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to kind of spin it a little bit. Now, you don't want to come near the 9 or the 8 or any of that. He's got to get decent on the 3 to get comfortable on the 4, but it's definitely in front of him, Freeze.
Yeah, maybe a little thinner than I think, but I feel like a steep outside ball can run you past the 8 or in front of it. He's probably going to have it struck a little easier, though. Hard for us to tell from here. Might be a little steeper than we think, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he has all the shots, but, you know, certain types of strokes offer a little more of that spin to open up, and he certainly can do that even better than when he first hit the scene. And I think he's better at these kind of what you would call kind of more heavy spin, a sweet kind of stroke. Don't think it's a problem, really. Now, is he going to play it thin and just come straight across instead of going behind the 9?
I really like the low outside ball. Just softly let the outside open up.
I agree.
Softly. Settle.
Yeah, this is going to have problems, I think. Maybe not.
Wow.
Still trouble. Still a little work, though.
Yeah, he'll take it. Very hard to keep yourself from being hooked on the green 6 going that way at that speed, but he did it.
And that's kind of what I mean as far as, like, he doesn't like to go as far outside on the ball. Like, I would have been real extreme on that.
Same.
And really fall into this bottom cushion and kind of come 2 rails at the 3 more than the 3rd rail. It appeared that way anyways now. All right.
Yeah, he's a little bit more of a straight cue guy. When he gets off center, it's not necessarily extreme.
So you have
Big punch here.
Huge.
Big punch.
Just needs a cut.
Needs to cut it thinner to the outside of the pocket.
Wow, he slammed it in, really compressed the rail, got a lot out of the cue ball. Still not out of the woods. He's got to make a little decision here going around the 8, maybe trying to avoid it. Watch out for the 9.
The accuracy to the pocket there, that was by design. If you felt like he almost missed it, he was really playing it to get that much out of the cue ball.
Well, we talked about Fedor Gorst, you know, coming off a little injury, not playing a whole lot, maybe his first tournament of the year, but you and I talked about it at the PLP. Good to see this guy. He's gotten a little, no, he's okay, I think, but good to see this guy playing, you know, some more tournaments like he has coming off the PLP. No one would have blamed him, but that shows you what he's trying to do with his pool game, right? After European Open, PLP, and he comes right over to play 2 more events.
100%. It's really enjoyable to have him around, watching him play. It gives us all an extra special treat, but not only that, he's ushering his brother around as well, who you and I both felt like he could easily win this tournament as well. He's on the verge.
Well, yeah, I think you brought it up right there that I was thinking that, you know, I think he's got that in mind also, his brother.
Right.
Like this is good for his brother to come over and spend a little more time playing different events. Now, he's gotten a little awkward here. Easy to come across and land on the rail. So a little thought of that 4 to 5 inch bounce.
Yeah, and the reason it's easy to come across and land on that rail is because if you draw full, sometimes you're kind of going towards the top right corner.
Yeah, and it's just when you're stretched, you just, you know, easy to miss the speed on the swing a little bit, and, you know, accuracy's at a premium. It should be anyways, but he's a tall man, so.
Yeah, he's way away from the 7 here, so shouldn't be an issue, but this is one you can get into a little too much.
A little adjustment there with the bridge.
Perfect.
Yeah, he's going to be absolutely perfect. He's right. Now just straight down, Scott, I believe.
Looks
or
like
to go
it.
left side of the 8. You can play short side here.
Yeah, he's so good with the high ball. He can go either way, but I would assume he's coming just inside the 9.
That's what I like. Just that's what it wants to do, I think. Just maybe a hair of English, maybe not.
I mean, so far, 3 balls away, he's really held course the entire match.
Now, this is going to be perfect. Really good. It's the most simple stroke he needs to make here. Now, don't baby it. Go ahead and come a good 2 feet above the 9. That way you get nice, clean contact on the 8. So he started this match with a break and run. Looks like he's going to finish it with a break and run, Scott.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I just commentator jinxed there, right? We were talking about it beforehand. You rarely see it. Credit to Gorst. It's hard to have a loser in a match like this with this class of play. Most likely the white towel. Maybe not. Team USA versus Team Europe. Let him swing. And Gorst is a professional, right? I don't think he ever really gives anything up on the stream. I've never actually seen it on TV.
I'd have to think about it, but just thinking about these matches for both these players, of course, a huge event here with a class field, but looking forward for 2025, and like to see a lot more of this as we move forward.
I think we will. All right, guys, congratulations to Kaci. Fedor Gorst, what a great tournament. You were my pick, but you had a great tournament. We'll be back in 30 minutes.